Let's do this. I'm about to embark upon building an entire Sisters army. The plan is to build out the army, to paint the army, and get ready to take it to LVO 2022 at the end of this month. This is January 2022, just in case you didn't know and you're watching this in the far, far future. In the previous video, you've seen all the models, and we are going to be working on getting these done together. There's a lot of models to build, and I've got to try to keep track of all the different loadouts that I want to give them. I have some ideas of what I want to do with a list. I haven't really set it in stone quite yet. I've got one that's pretty stone-like. Let's just say it that way. It's solidifying. So I've got some ideas. I'm going to need a lot of storm bolters. I'm going to need some multi-meltas. I'm going to need some heavy flamers. And I'm just going to build them and see how they all turn out. I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a lot. I've prepped myself here ready. I'll have some YouTube, maybe some football later. Who knows? I'm going to be watching some stuff. And basically, I'm going to show you, hopefully, what's going on here. So it should be a good time. I've got a lot of models to build, and I've got a fairly short period of time in which to do them. So I'm going to hope to get as much done in this session. And then we'll see how long it takes. So it might just be this one session in the video, or it might be multiple sessions in this video. It depends upon when light goes out or when I just completely crash. Either which way, we're going to do what we can to keep them going. So I'm going to give you some ideas, show you how I'm doing it, and then give you some thoughts on how to speed build some stuff. Because I've had times when I've had to build some stuff fast in the past, and I've got some ideas of how to make this kind of flow better. It's like my building process works for smaller squads or even into bigger squads. Just how I work it through. So, why don't we just get into it right now? So when batch building, it's important to find ways to streamline the process for yourself. For me, this includes working on each of the different types of units together as one set. This allows me to focus on how to build each unit and do it all at the same time. I also like to cut out all the pieces first and then go back and clean them, and then once they're clean, go into the building process. Creating separate piles for each type of model allows me to keep things together without having to put them together before moving on to the next. This allows me to focus on each task at a time and keeps me moving from step to step without having to go back and forth grabbing different tools. It can get repetitive, but at the end of the day, it does streamline the process for myself. When assembling the models, I like to assemble them in pieces. So I build all the bodies together. Then I move on to putting in all the weapons together. It allows me to get into a groove when working with different parts.
So when I understand how the legs work, or how the torsos work, or how the weapons work, I can carry that on to the next model.
So 2 units down and a lot more to go. But so far so good. It feels good. It feels these, I think we're going to be, so I know we've got a lot more fiddly ones to do, but these ones seemed like they were going to be a little bit fiddly with their cables and such like that. But I got them done. As you can see, it's going to take a bit. Luckily, these are the newer line, so the mold lines are not as bad as you saw, but still got to take care of business when you do it. So keeping going here, I'll see you back for session number 2. Deuces!
So what I thought was going to be 1 day's work ended up being 5 days' work. I would get up, handle my business, and then go in and start working on these models. The process was a lot slower than I thought it would be, but mostly because I think I forgot how hard it is to build models sometimes. It did get repetitive, my thumbs did hurt, but I got them done. I did have to pause sometimes for eating lunch or taking care of my dog, but at the end of the day, I made sure that I got what I needed to be done.
All right, so 4 days of building these models, and I am going nuts. I built the vast majority of what I showed in the beginning there. I didn't finish building all the Paragon Warsuits because I realized as I got to building with the weapon options that I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted swords or maces, and I figured, so I built 4 of them out of the 12 that I have. And I put 1 of each ranged weapon plus a double of the multi-meltas in there. And I've got 2 swords and 2 maces. The maces I put on the multi-meltas because I heard that's pretty good if they're going for tanks anyway. To finish off with that would be good. And then the swords I put on the flamer and the heavy bolter, and I'll figure out what I want to do. I've got a bunch more that I can build with that, but I didn't want to do it and then be upset with my choices, so I'm going to hold off on building those ones yet until I have a choice, get some ideas. And I haven't built the Arcoflagellants yet because my thumbs hurt. So I got the vast majority of it done. The Arcoflagellants will come next. I think that'd be a good addition to building into more. And obviously I want to keep doing more. I want to build more of I want to keep expanding this army. But for now, this is a good step. So, what have I learned from doing all this? Don't do it. Don't, it was painful. Like, my thumbs hurt. I had a blood blister on one of my thumbs that seems to have worked its way out, but I still have like some nasty looking scabbing up there. I did cut myself a bit. And it's just like my thumbs hurt. I would wake up in the morning and my thumbs would hurt, and I have to keep pushing through this because I need to get these done for the tournament. And I need to build more. And honestly, what I should have probably done if you're going to end up doing something like this is just have your list done and just build the list and then worry about everything after that. But this is much more than my list done, but it's going to be done. And I'm excited to be done with this. And I'm excited to keep showing what these are how to build and paint these going forward. So this is the next step in Can Phil get an entire Sisters Army done by LVO time? We'll see. It is going to be tight, but I think I can do it. Now that I've gotten these all built, next step is going to be painting. And I'm going to be putting those out in a couple of different videos. You're going to see, I'm not going to do it all in one video because there's a lot of different stuff that's going on with this. So I'm going to be using the speed paints for the first time. I'm going to teach myself how to use an airbrush not for the first time, but reteach myself how to use an airbrush and do it in a way that's not just base painting is the plan. And I'm going to be using a lot of the Army Painter products that they have there. So they're new air paints, they're speed paints. I'm going to be using some of the flesh tones for some of the heads because you'll see, I don't know if you saw, you probably did see, but I didn't put helmets on all of them. I put helmets on a bunch of them but I didn't put helmets on all of them, and I'm going to have some regular helmeted, unhelmeted heads, and I also have to do some Repentia with flesh, so I'm going to be using the Flesh Tones kit from Army Painter to do some of those, and also I'm going to actually do both, so I'm going to do the Army Painter's Flesh Tone kits, and I'm also going to use their speed paints for flesh, because I think they have a flesh color in the speed paints that I'll try and show you the two different methods and show you how they work out and contrast them. I'm going to be using some of their metallic paints. I'm going to be showing the metallic paints on top of the speed paints, because there's a lot of stuff here where I'm going to go through and do the speed paints, and then I'm going to go back and put in the metallics, and it should work well. I mean, we'll find out together, and you will see in the videos. But going forward, and I will let you know. I did, in the middle of doing all of this building, take one day off. I don't know if you saw in the short, but I did take one day to go do a practice game with them, because I wanted to get a sense of how they played and get a sense of what the Army was before I got too far along in the process. And I had fun. I had a blast. I really did. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I played against my friend who does know sisters, and he was practicing up with his orc list that he's building up for, or has been building up and is finishing up painting for a tournament. He wanted to get some practice for the tournament. I wanted to get just a game under my belt, and he knew how to do sisters, so he helped me out with a lot of it and gave me some hints and tips and pointers. And I've got a pretty rad list that I'm pretty excited about with, and can field with all the stuff that I've built here. So I think going forward, I might have another video that I'll put out about what my list is going to be, but it's essentially taking all of the hot topic ones that you want. So I've got Repentia in there. I've got the Sacrosancts in there. I've got Retributors in there. I've got Dominions in there with their Stormbolters. I've got Morvenval. I've got Celestine. I've got them all. It's all in there and should be good. But building these, my thumbs hurt. It was frustrating at times, but I think it was good. I'm glad to get it done. I'm glad to be through with them, and I'm glad to have it all finished. And now the next step is going to be painting, which I feel a lot better about. Like, building models is fine, but it gets very fiddly, and when parts fall off that you thought were already glued, got frustrating. I was using some glue at the beginning there that I was starting to run out of, and it wasn't putting enough on there. So then I switched over to a new set of glue that I had that worked much better. But it's all coming together well, and I really enjoyed. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really enjoy it. It was a lot of work to get this done, but I knew that I was going to be very happy once they were done. And I am very happy. I'm very glad to have this all done. I've got a great selection, not just for the list that I'm going to be doing, but going forward is a great selection for an army to build forward. And a great foundation for an army going forward, because there's plenty of other stuff that I could do as well. Like a lot of the tanks and things like that. Just expanding into other options. The Arcoflagellants to get them done. The Paragon War suits. All of these things. I think there's ways that I can keep building on these. And I'm thrilled to be able to keep going for these. So I'm glad to have this chunk built, and now the next step is going to be painting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly made it through. And I will see you next time as we continue my journey to LVO, building and painting the sisters with the help of the Army Painter. So thank them thoroughly for their assistance in making this happen, and we'll see how it all goes next time. So until next time, stay safe and have fun. So I'm about to embark upon building an entire sisters army from scratch. I'm about to embark upon building an entire sisters army.